Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Hello everyone and welcome to Ask Rob and Rob. And this week, one listener has really asked Rob and Rob, and then asked Rob and Rob, and then asked Rob and Rob, and then asked Rob and Rob. You'll get the picture when you hear the recording. Anyway, because we're nice fellows, we've helped this listener out, and you'll hear his question shortly. But if you would like to do the same and ask us a question or 10, then please do get in touch because, all jokes aside, we like answering them.
Yeah, we really do. So you can call 013-808-0035. That's 013-808-0035. Or you can get in front of your computer or your phone and go over to thepropertyhub.net/ask. So let's hear now from a man so curious that he gets a whole episode of Ask Rob and Rob to himself. This is Karmjit.
Oh, hi Rob and Rob, this is Karmjit. Firstly, thanks for all your hard work. I knew nothing about property investment about 6 months ago. I read all of Rob's books, listened to every property podcast and every property geek podcast, and I just purchased my first property through RMP. It's a new build, it's a bungalow, and I had 3 quick questions regarding this new build. Firstly, what does the snagging process actually involve? Do you recommend it? How much does it cost? Who do I approach to complete the snagging? How long does it take? Secondly, what's your policy or suggestion on pets for houses and flats? As I mentioned, this is a new build bungalow, so I can imagine my clientele is going to be of a mature nature and they're likely to have pets. So I really just wanted your feedback generally on pets for homes and flats. And the last question was on flooring. I've been told that lino is best for kitchen and bathroom, neutral carpets for the living spaces. I just wanted to ask you if the flooring should be installed by the developer, or do you suggest it to be installed by a third party? And again, thanks for all your hard work. Appreciate it. Bye.
Okay, a lot of questions, but we've broken them down. So your first question is, what does the snagging process actually involve? And that's a really good question. People may have not even heard of snagging before. And that's for good reason, because snagging is only really done on new builds. And basically, it's a process of going round and checking the property, because a new build should be new. For example, if you got a new car, you wouldn't expect dents in it, would you? You know, you'd expect it to be a brand new car. Well, it's like a home. When you get a brand new home, whether it be a house or apartment, you would expect it to be new, and there shouldn't be dents in the wall. But sometimes there are. Sometimes there are cracked tiles. Sometimes the taps are on the wrong way. Yes, seen that happen. There's all sorts of things that can not be quite right. A quick glance looks great, but a little bit further investigation and you find some faults. So a snagging process is where you or a professional goes in and checks the property to a really fine detail. Now, you've asked, do you recommend it? Well, I'd say yes, especially as many of the RMP clients invest remotely. So the chances are you don't live near this bungalow. So for you to go and do it yourself, you probably do want to employ someone to go and do this on your behalf. Plus, like many things in property, like mortgage brokers and so on, paying professionals, it's worth doing. So how much does it cost? A few £100. You know, you'll get change out of £300 for a bungalow, which actually, if you think about it, is pretty good value, because these people go and check everything and then we'll produce a report, and then we'll go back and check to see what's been done on that report for you and then give you a second report. So it's actually pretty good value. It saves you doing it yourself. The approach, well, RMP will recommend someone to you, but in the interest of balance, you can just Google it as well and find your own service. And to answer your next question, the amount of time it takes, they should be in and out in a day and not even need to spend the whole day there. The report will come to you probably within a week, and then they'll give the developer some time to go and complete that snagging, and then they'll go back. So the first report, from them going in to you receiving the report, should be no more than a week. Phew! A lot of questions there, Rob. Can you take some?
Yeah, I will. Before I do, I'll just say that I've actually done a bit of snagging as part of training some other people to do it. And it really is amazing what you notice, because this particular development walked in and I'm like, wow, this is fantastic. Can't imagine there's anything wrong here at all. It looks beautiful. And then you start systematically going around and come away with a whole page of tiny defects. So it's well worth doing, because like you said, Rob, you're paying for something new. You should be getting that. And secondly, if you don't notice it, chances are your tenant will. And it'll just be something you've got to pay to fix later on. So that is snagging. And Karmjit, you asked as well about pets. And you made a really good point. You said that as it's a bungalow, you're likely to have older tenants and therefore they're quite likely to have pets. And I think that's a real opportunity that you've recognised that, because so many landlords have a blanket no pets policy. And that means that if you're a tenant with a pet, it's really hard to find somewhere to live. And my view on it is pretty relaxed. I'd rather have a fantastic tenant who happens to have a pet, and we've taken some precautions around that, which I'll talk about in a minute. I'd much rather have that than a not so good tenant or no tenant at all. So I would never have a blanket no pets rule. I think I've got pets in a couple of mine at the moment. But the reason that people say no pets is that they're worried about damage and noise and smells and all that sort of thing. But there are some things you can do about it. So when we take on a tenant with pets at Yellow Lettings, we have a little pet add-on to the tenancy. It's an extra page that goes on there. The first thing it does is describe the pets that you've agreed to stay, because if it just says you're allowed pets, then they could say they're moving in with a gerbil, and then when you go and check, there's a whole menagerie in there, and, well, it said you could have pets. So we specify the number and the type of pets that have been agreed to, and then also say what's expected at the end. So normally, you probably wouldn't expect a tenant to have the carpets professionally cleaned before they move out. With a pet, you might do, because you're worried about the next person coming in and having allergies, or you're worried about smells or something like that. You might also want to take a slightly higher deposit if you're worried about damage. But if you take those precautions, then it can be a really great way to get a really great tenant who's grateful to have the opportunity and is going to take good care of your property.
So you talked about getting your floors clean there, Rob, but Karmjit hasn't got any flooring yet. So can you help him out?
I can. So you say that you've been told that lino is best for the kitchen and the bathroom, and the neutral carpets for the living spaces. Completely agree. That's exactly what I would do. Carpet, not too light, so it shows up every mark. You want something hard wearing. Lino is great because it's really easy to clean and it's durable. That should get the job done. But Rob, should he get the developer to install that?
You can, and it'll be easy, but it'll be more expensive. Because remember, the developer is a builder, not a carpet specialist or a flooring specialist. So you can, but you may want to check other providers out because it'll probably be more competitive. So they can do it, but you'll probably get a better quote if you use a local supplier. So it's up to you. If you just want an easy life and you don't mind paying a bit more, go for the developer. But you can use third-party suppliers as well, and that's completely fine too. So it doesn't really matter which you choose. Just depends on how you feel about cost. Okay, well, that really was an Ask Rob and Rob. Really good questions. There's some stuff that we've not had in before, so thanks, Karmjit. I know we joke, but actually there's some really great, valuable stuff there where we could expand on and help everybody out and educate everybody a little bit further. And Rob, that is exactly what we will do on Thursday when we're back with the Property Podcast.
Yeah, of course we will. That is coming up on Thursday, and then Ask Rob and Rob again, this time next week. So I hope you've enjoyed your property fix for today. Thank you for listening. We'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.